Alright, YouTubers, so last video I dropped, we were figuring out how to get this thing out of four-wheel drive if it's stuck in four-wheel drive. And that one was pretty simple. Put it on too high, turn off, turn on, all that good stuff. Now I want to show you what it's doing, alright, because I'm sure people are having the same issue. It's in too high. I go to auto and it doesn't go to auto. It flashes, doesn't do anything. Nothing. Now, earlier, let's see if I can get it to induce the issue. It won't do it this time. Neutral. Let's see. Nothing. Alright. Earlier, I was on the road, put it into 4 high, auto, whatever, while I was driving, and I get a service four-wheel drive. Oh wait, there it is. Never mind, I was looking at the wrong one like an idiot. So yeah, so I got that. So if I clear this out and I go back to auto, nothing. Alright, interesting. So what is going on? That's the question. So turn this off. We'll check underneath first. Underneath the driver's side door. Pick this up from a guy. There's a ground located right there. This is not frayed. It doesn't look bad. Could try cleaning it off. That's one method. What we're going to do is we're actually going to change the actuator out. Alright, so this is an actuator. It's got a plug on one end, alright, 5-pin plug. This end, the black end, goes inside of the transfer case axle. I'm not quite sure yet. I'm going to get underneath this truck and figure it out. So basically what I've kind of come up with is, at this point, there are 3 things that could be wrong with it. One is there is a, where the switch connects underneath the dash, there's a module there that could be bad. This actuator could be bad. And the motor that moves the transfer case in and out of four-wheel drive could also be bad. So my plan is to change the easiest thing first, which is this. Now, if I had a bi-directional scanning tool, yes, I could use that and probably figure out the problem. But guys on the internet already with bi-directional scanning tools and the same issue replace this a lot of times and it fixes the issue. So what we're going to do is we're going to change this part out and see if it works. If it doesn't work, I'm going to put the old one back in and I'm going to move on to the motor next that's on the transfer case. So underneath the truck, put this up here, we come around and get underneath here. We've got this skid plate here. Right above this skid plate is where that actuator is located. So what we're going to have to do is drop the skid plate. There are 15 mil bolts and change it out. If that doesn't work, like I said, we'll move on behind this onto the transfer case and we'll change that motor out. But I am crossing my fingers that this is the fix. That part at AutoZone ran me $111 before taxes. So if this does the trick, that'd be awesome. If it doesn't, then back to square one and we'll go from there. But I figured I'd put all of this in the video just so you can see how I'm troubleshooting and see maybe, hopefully that can help somebody else at home save some time and money. Alright, so skid plate is off. This is our part right here. It is super easy to get to, and actually you could almost get to it without removing the skid plate, but I went ahead and just dropped the skid plate just because why not. So take this plug out here. Trying to do this one-handed, so that's always fun. And these plugs on these Chevys are always fun to mess around with. Let's see if I can get her without breaking something. There we go. There. All right. Sorry if you guys didn't catch that. All right, so that's off, and essentially this turns right off of there. Okay, lefty loosey, righty tighty, right? That comes right off, and the new one screws right in, and that's it. So that's not too hard. All right, so I'd say anybody can probably do this job if this is actually the problem, like I said earlier. To get this off, I was gonna see if I could He-Man it off here, not so much. So I'm going to get a large pair of channel locks right here on the plastic, and I'm going to rotate it and turn it out of there, and then go from there. All right, so it's getting really hard to see underneath here. I'm going to zoom out as much as I can here. So here's here's a pro tip for you. This plastic housing on that actuator, yeah, totally snapped off on me in there. And so now I'm in the process of removing the broken off end that's stuck inside of there. If this happens to you, my advice is to take a small pipe wrench like I have here and essentially jam it in there. It's going to be hard to see, like so, and wrench it out. It's just a plastic piece. More to follow on torque specs. Alright, so quick update. This is the new part, and it's in 2 pieces now. That's awesome. So, this little piece broke off. It's supposed to go on here from the factory. Slides all the way back on here, and you can see where it broke off on the plastic. So, you can't over tighten these things and break them like I did. So, put the old one on because I got work tomorrow and I need this truck to drive to work. So put the old one back on, and I can clearly tell basically anytime you do an oil change, you refill it, the oil is just dropping right down here, any of it that spills. So that may contribute to the issue. So tomorrow, oh, and one thing I pulled from my Haynes manual that I thought might need to be done, but I didn't do it, so either way, RTV on those threads. Once you've done that, it should be ready to go back on, but it definitely can be over tightened and broken off, and I do not recommend doing that. So the saga continues. I will add more onto the video once I get a replacement actuator. Hopefully, we'll see if Duralast actually covers this. Otherwise, yep, I'm gonna have to drop some more dough. Alright, so we've got our replacement here. Warranty worked. They took it back and handed me a brand new one, which is awesome of them. So shout out to AutoZone on that one. Got some RTV on it. Gonna thread it in there and finish this job once and for all. It's been a couple days, so I'm looking forward to getting it on there. Alright, installed, not broken this time. Let's fire up the old truck, and I don't know if it'll show up in the video, but I'm gonna come down here, put in 2 auto, no service 4-wheel drive, if you can see that.
Resuming OnStar turn-by-turn direction. If you no longer need
4 high.
Press the OnStar phone button and say,
and let's see. Yep, just clicked in. 4-wheel drive. Should be good. Shut this door, make sure I don't have a warning message here. Service 4-wheel drive. Well, I don't know then. Let's go back. What do you know? Alright, so we're going to go back into park. Let's see if we can reset this thing real fast. So we got our service 4-wheel drive. We're in 4 low still. Alright, so we'll go back to neutral, and then we'll try to bring her back out of it. See if we can just get it. Still 4 low. there. All right, well, let me play around with this some more. Let's go all the way. I tell you what, let's leave it in neutral. We'll put it in 4 high. We'll turn it off. Okay. Turn it back on. Still in 4 high, 4 low. Fires back up. Still in 4 low. Okay, well, what do you know? So that did not fix our issue. We've got a brand new. Give it a second here. Let's see if we can't reset it like I did in a previous video and get it back out of 4 low. It's been stuck in 4 low before, 4 high before. So now, probably doesn't want to come out just yet. Interesting. All right, well, we've got ourselves a doozy on our hands here. Let's see if I can put it down into neutral. Start the truck. Ooh, interesting. Maybe I can just get it into neutral. This is very interesting. I'm gonna try driving it and see what I can get it to do. I don't know, maybe it'll come out, maybe it won't, but stay tuned. All right, so truck's still stuck in 4-wheel drive. Tried a bunch of different things, unhooked the battery, hooked it back up again. All kinds of things, try to put it into neutral. So I wanted to show you something. So I went underneath there and I yanked these dudes, or the one dude, the one on the left's the new one clearly. And you'll notice that the end of it is extended. So that's how it puts it into 4-wheel drive, I reckon. Anyway, I'm not a automotive engineer or anything, but I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. So I took it out and it sprung back at me. And so what I figure is, if it's stuck in 4 low, it's because this guy is not coming back in. Which, if it's a brand new part and it's not doing that, I don't know. I'm thinking that there's another part behind the dash that may be the problem. Which means that the one on the right here, the old one, may not actually be bad. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to install the old one in there and we'll see if that takes it out of 4 high, at least long enough for, you know, let me put it down in 2-wheel drive so I can drive to work tomorrow morning. And kind of go from there. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I might be borrowing something to take me to work tomorrow. But, yeah, let's find out. Well, YouTube, it did work out the way I'd hoped. The saga of the 4-wheel drive continues. That did not take care of it. So, here we are. Truck sitting here, stuck in 4 high. I am currently working on an alternative means of transportation tomorrow, considering 4 low, what, like 35 miles an hour as fast as you can go. So in here in the garage, I have my new, still sticking out actuator, and the old one's in it still. I guess I could put this one back in it tonight since I don't really have much else to do, and I have one more part to replace, and we'll talk about that once I pick back up again. Alright, well, new parts in. It's this motor for the transfer case. We'll see if this is the one. My audio might be a little rough. We got like 40 mile an hour wind gusts today. It's blowing loose all over the place. Awesome. But I want this truck done as soon as possible. One thing you're going to need, a set of these Torx bits. Get underneath there with these and we'll see kind of what size we need and whatnot. You can, pick these up hardware store or at auto parts store. These came from AutoZone. They're Duralast, and they should do the trick. So we'll get in there and take a look. So you can see we've got 4 bolts on this thing all together. There's a switch up there, or not a switch, plug up there at the top, and unplug that. One of the videos I watched, somebody else doing this, they actually took this thing off first. A little bit of oil come out, or transfer case fluid will come out. Take it off, then unplug it, then plug it and put it back on. So there's those 4 up here, we can see it, and this is right basically underneath the driver's side of the truck. So we'll give it a shot. All right, new one installed. Now time to see if it does the trick. One thing on this this top connector, make sure you push it in really good. I gave it a little pull check and wasn't all the way in on the first one, so make sure you definitely get that in there real good, and we'll see if this fixes the problem. So back in the cab, let's see if it does the trick. Went ahead and left it in 4 high, thinking that maybe if the motor does kick on, or I don't want it to kick on just yet, I want to make sure it knows that it's supposed to be where it's at now, and then I'll come out of that.
Resuming OnStar turn-by-turn direction. If you no longer
Well, now we're in neutral.
press the OnStar phone button and say, cancel route.
And whoa, that was a loud pop. And back to 2 high. Ha! Well, that might have done it. Let's check my message here. Shut the door so I can get a legitimate message. Let's see here. I'm going to auto. It's taking a second to think about it. It doesn't want to do it. All right, well, here's the thing though. If nothing else, I am out of 4 low. All right, well, I'm on 2 high, out of 4 low, and I'm still getting a service 4-wheel drive. So I have attempted to show you guys all my steps. If nothing else, it's drivable again, so that's a good thing. Let's put it back up in the park. All right, so new actuator, new motor. Came out of 4 low. What else could it be? So inside of here, there is a control module. That could be the problem. This switch could also be the problem, but it doesn't seem likely. I'm going to take it for a spin though and see what happens. I got to make sure I'm out of 4 low because I've got a car I'm borrowing right now, so I just need to make sure she's drivable. If the truck's drivable for now, that's good enough. All right, so we've got the part in. Today's actually Thanksgiving 2022. So it's been a minute since I was able to get this part in and actually get back at it. Of course, I'm going to compile all these videos into one longer video. But that's the transfer case control module. You can see the information on it. This one's actually the GM part. This came off of Amazon. I don't exactly remember the price. I know this much. I called the dealership in case this does need to be flashed. They told me $130. So that's my dealership. I don't know how it is, if there's different prices and whatnot wherever you live, but so we've got a Phillips screwdriver and a 10 mil wrench or socket. I took the side off of this panel here. This is the fuse panel. And then underneath the truck, if we get down here, behind this, there is a single 10 mil. And then there's just a couple Phillips that we're going to take off, and this dash will come off. So if you're following along with removing the bottom part of the dash, that's it right there. Alright, so with this dash piece off, inside of here, I'm going to try to zoom in so you can see it. That's it right there. So that's the part we're going to change out. It clips in there. There's a clip. See if I can show you down here on the bottom. I have to loosen that up and pull it out, and then up here at the top there's another clip behind that wire back there on it holding it in. This is pretty self-explanatory. You should be able to figure that one out. And yeah, and then just unplug it and put the new one in. So not too over the top crazy on this one. Alright, so we've got old one on the left, new one on the right. The numbers don't necessarily match up, but it looks like the pins do. I mean, there's nothing visibly wrong with this, so I have no idea. I mean, I guess I could take it apart and look inside of it, see if maybe some moisture or something got in there. I don't know. It's electronics, like no one ever knows why these things fail. So we're gonna take this old boy. It goes in basically, if I come back through this hole and mounts right back up inside of there like the old one did. I've seen some videos of guys will plug this in, test it out without it actually in there and mounted, but honestly for me, I'm not going to do that just because I'm not going to return the part. So I'm just going to put it in here and see what happens and go from there. Alright, so it's installed, plugged up, ready to go. Kept the dash off of it just because I just want to see if it works or not. So you have a little bit of a, shut this door. The sun's coming in perfect, so you can't really see anything. Go ahead and fire up the truck. Now, in earlier parts of this video, it'll act like it wants to work and then it don't. So I don't know if we're gonna get the same issues or not. It says service 4-wheel drive, which is new. All right, so I changed that out. Now it's saying service 4-wheel drive. It has never come up with that on startup, I'll be honest. So if I come down here, it says it can't. Yep, it's probably gonna need to be flashed. So it's not even lighting up here on the switch anymore, which is a new one. Okay, I do have one thing I can do. I'm gonna turn it all the way over and I'm gonna hold it. And I'm basically gonna hold this for a 15 or a 30-second count. I've heard it both ways, to be honest. I don't know which one's right or not. And this is supposed to reset the 4-wheel drive. So maybe on your truck, this may be a simple fix where you can do something like this and never have to go through all the rigmarole that I have. Okay. Now I'm going to turn off the truck. Open the door just to make sure all the electronics turn off. Okay, now let's try to fire it up again. Still getting the same thing, still no light. Okay, well, I do have one more trick up my sleeve, and that will be to basically drain the ECM, is what I've heard it called. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to unplug both of the battery cables, and we're going to hold the positive and the negative cables together while they're not hooked up to the battery. And hopefully that drains the ECM and will force it to relearn this part. Otherwise, this is 100% gonna have to go to the dealership to be flashed, which kind of is what it is at this point. Doesn't work either way, so what harm could that possibly do? Well, I'm sitting here on Christmas Eve, and looks like the tundra here in southern Indiana. We got that bunch of ice and snow and 1 degree outside. I think it's a -28 wind chill. And the old Chevy almost didn't start, but it fired up. So this is the last video that I'm going to put and compile all the videos that I've done so far on this four-wheel drive, it's officially fixed. And to make a long story short, if you've skipped through the entire video to this point to know what on earth was wrong, well, I can't say for certain it was any one thing, but I do know that after changing the transfer case control module and having it flashed about an hour ago by GM, it works. So Merry Christmas to me, because I had to drive here on some questionable roads in two-wheel drive, but the traction control is still pretty good on these trucks, so it wasn't the end of the world. But now I have four-wheel drive again, so for our holiday traveling, we should be in good shape. So that's I guess the cause of the issue was the TCCM. That's been replaced and flashed, and now everything works. So basically every electronic component except for the actual switch and the position sensor has been changed now. So with the transfer case control module being the problem, but it does require a flash. It cost me $130 at my local GM service center, and so it's back on the road again. So I hope this video helped you. If I can't say for certain maybe what's wrong with your vehicle if you're watching this. You know, the previous video I did on the four-wheel drive was how to get it out if it's stuck. Try using that reset method that's in this video also to see if that helps. If not, then maybe you go straight to the transfer case control module and then have it flashed. Maybe you can find somebody online that'll flash it for you and then ship it to you. That would be even better. I looked at a couple places and I just ended up coming here to the dealership because it was about the same no matter what I did. So thanks for watching the video. I really hope this saves you some time and effort and you don't end up spending, I don't know, this probably cost me $600 by the time it was all said and done. Hopefully it doesn't cost you that much money. Maybe try the transfer case control module right off the bat. You know, the one thing I can say for certain is if you can put your truck into auto and you can hear the actuator move, then, you know, maybe that's not the case. If it's getting stuck in something, then probably, you know, just guessing, maybe it isn't the motor after all, or the actuator. In that case, try the transfer case control module, see if that works for you, and then get it flashed by your dealership, and hopefully you're back on the road. But I can say the dealership was super cool about everything when I told them what I needed done. They acted a little confused at first, but then the mechanic got her done. So thanks for watching. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see what the next struggle will be on this truck and what breaks next that I get to make a video about fixing. So until next time, thanks for watching.